Hello, Mama Magic family. Welcome back to another episode of Lights, Camera, Baby. I'm your host, Projeni, and today we're diving into a window of parenthood that is powerful, emotional, and honestly, a little overwhelming. The first 72 hours after birth. Now, most parents prepare for labor, the hospital bag, the birth plan, the what ifs, of course, but what actually happens after baby arrives, right? That's the part nobody prepares you for until now, right? So, to guide us through this incredible transition, I'm joined by someone whose expertise we trust deeply here at Mama Magic, midwife and childbirth educator Lynne Bluff. Now, with decades of experience, Lynn has supported thousands of parents through those first hours and days. So it's an absolute pleasure to have her here with us today. But before we get to Lynn, a gentle reminder that this episode provides general information and education. It's not medical advice, so please always consult your healthcare provider for personalized care. Lynn, thank you so much for joining us again.
It's so exciting to be here. I love doing these episodes with you.
Yep, and our audience loves it too. So that is why Lynn is back. We're always having new pregnant mums that are joining the Mama Magic community. And I always think it's worthwhile to go back to these critical points to reiterate, because I think the more we all hear it, the better off we are, because we digest different parts of it at different times. So, mums, if you're going to listen to this over and over again, I promise you, you'll keep taking tidbits away that you can share with your partner, your families, and for yourself to make yourself comfortable with those first 72 hours, right?
And put it into action,
Ah,
because it's one thing hearing about it, it's another thing actually processing and making it real when the time comes.
that is so true. That is so true. It's getting that action plan together, right? And Lynn's going to help you do just that. So let's start at the very beginning, right? That first hour after birth, often called the golden hour, right? Now, Lynn and I have an episode that we've dedicated specifically to that, so you can go back to that. But we're condensing everything here and we're giving you a mini 72 hours in one. So let's talk about that, because this golden hour, like I said to you previously, it is so emotional and I love every bit of it. So let's take our moms through that.
It is really, really special. The golden hour is, as it says, it is golden, it's special, it is amazing. You can never experience that again. And birth is just so precious that the preciousness really comes through immediately after birth.
So why do they call it the golden hour?
Just because that there is such special time dedicated when mom and baby shouldn't be separated. Baby should be skin to skin on mom. And just being in heaven, for want of a better description, the golden
Right.
hour, something that is really, really special.
So tell us what happens in that golden hour after birth. What can moms expect?
Well, as that baby comes out after it's born, it should be put directly on mom, whether it's on mom's chest, mom's abdomen, but skin to skin is what is so important. And if the cord is very short, maybe baby only reaches the lower part of mom's abdomen, that's 100% fine. You just want zero separation of mom and baby immediately after birth. And you want that time to actually continue. So, as much as we talk about the golden hour, it is really a longer time than that. That one mustn't get the misrepresentation that skin to skin is only for the first hour after birth,
Aha.
because that, I suppose, in some way has damages what comes thereafter.
Okay.
So, it's like the tick box. Well, did you do skin to skin? Tick.
Ah, okay.
And it shouldn't be like that. This should be where the baby actually stays skin to skin on mom's chest 24/7 as much as possible and is realistic for the next 3 to 4 months.
So this is the start, the initiation process of what we want moms to continue with, right?
Yes, absolutely. So don't look at it in the context of this only happens and then after an hour, the golden hour is over and we move along. Okay, we don't. We extend that skin to skin. So yes, this baby comes out, lies on mom's chest, and then just enjoy the golden hour, the glow, the awe, the emotions that one experiences when you see your baby, and actually let your baby be on baby time and let it unfold in what it's got to do. Because when babies are born, they should undergo the 9 instinctive stages. And one's got to remember that babies are hardwired to breastfeed.
Right.
Okay, that is the way that babies are designed. So as mums, we don't necessarily know what to do, how to do it. We are not hardwired to breastfeed, but babies are hardwired and know exactly what to do. You've just got to put them in the right place, and the right place is on mom's chest, skin to skin, or whether it's on mom's abdomen. As I say, that really doesn't matter. And baby goes through those 9 instinctive stages. The first one we all know about as pregnant and new moms is that birth cry. Baby comes out, cry, wah, hello mom, hello dad, I've arrived, and isn't life great? And it's the most beautiful, precious sound imaginable. It's one of the few times in life that you're glad to hear your baby cry, okay? And maybe if your baby's had a bad fall and you hear it cry and you know it's still alive, but after that, we don't really want baby crying. But that first cry is just so precious, so emotional.
Yeah.
And quite amazing when you think of what this baby has just undergone during the birthing process into a whole new, different world where nothing is the same as it has been. But on mom's chest, baby can also feel safe and comfortable because they will still be able to hear mom's heartbeat. And obviously, mom's heartbeat is something that they hear constantly for the time that they're in utero. And so that helps them say, actually, although I'm in this new environment, I'm actually still somewhere familiar.
Right.
I can hear my mom, my dad, my parents actually talk. I recognize their voices. I hear this constant heartbeat, which I've heard for the last 9 months. And so actually I know I'm in a good, safe place. Whereas if baby is whisked away by somebody, to check it and weigh it and all the things that actually are so unimportant to life, that baby can feel very insecure, very unsafe, really scared.
Wow.
Okay, whereas if that baby is on mom's chest, familiar voices, skin to skin, and there is just so much that is important for this baby to be skin to skin. It is, it sounds crazy the way that one describes it. It's got magical powers to it, but it really does have. There is no end to how important the skin to skin contact is. And what it does, it stabilizes baby's heart rate, baby's breathing, baby's oxygen saturation, decreases the stress hormones in this baby. It stabilizes that baby's blood sugar level.
Wow.
So there's all sorts of physiological things that it's so important for that baby to be skin to skin. It also, out of interest, stabilizes mom as well. So it's got enormous benefits for the mom to have this baby skin to skin.
Wow.
And even that all babies should be put skin to skin immediately, whether they're born vaginally, whether they're born by cesarean. There shouldn't be this, oh goodness, this baby needs to go and be whisked off. This baby can be put skin to skin. It's called a gentle Caesar or a natural Caesar, And then baby is getting all those benefits as well as helping mom stabilize after the shock to her body of major abdominal surgery. So it's important to both of them.
Absolutely. And what are those instinctive reflexes that we look for when baby's born?
Okay, to continue the non-instinctive stages, or when they start examining the baby and looking at the APGAR?
No,
The
non-instinctive
non-instinctive stages.
yes.
So the first one is the birth cry, and then baby actually lies relaxed on mom.
Right.
And for a few minutes, and it's literally only a few minutes, that baby actually isn't able to move. There is such a high adrenaline level in this baby that this baby's kind of bombed out for a few minutes as it comes down, and it's got this high adrenaline level to actually help it not experience pain during the birthing process. But you don't often hear parents say, "Oh, I wonder what pain my baby had during the birth. Oh, my contractions are so sore. Oh, I'm pushing so hard. I'm having the tough time." How many of us actually even contemplate what's happening to this baby? But this high adrenaline level at that time decreases the pain that this baby actually experiences during the birthing process of going through that tight vaginal canal, doing all sorts of turns and twists in order to be born.
Fascinating.
Yeah. So baby lies there just relaxed. Mm-hmm. And then baby's going to go into stage 3, which is the awakening stage. That, wow, I'm in a different environment. I can move my head. I can move my shoulders. I'm not in this tight vaginal canal anymore. And so I'm awakening up to my surroundings.
Okay.
And then baby is going to go into stage 4, which is activity. And he's wanting to explore his environment. I'm in a new world. What is it all about? And they try and look around, and they suck on their hand, and they suck on mom's chest or abdomen, or on his skin, which is really good for the baby's microbiome, which is just, by the way, getting the good microorganisms into this baby. And then baby's going to go into stage 5, which is rest. Okay. They say, wow, what have I just gone through? I've got so many exciting things I'm exposed to, need to process this a bit, and actually I just need to take a break. And that is often what makes things hard for the mom, the parents, for the staff, because suddenly baby was all investigating, and now actually I'm just resting. And you think, oh, I need to help this baby. But if you think of when you go shopping at the mall, do you walk from one end to the other end without stopping? No, you'll probably sit down, go and have a cup of coffee or whatever it is. And this is the equivalent for your baby. You don't just keep going unless you're in a huge rush and darting into one shop.
I'm awake, and now I'm going for it. Yes.
Yeah, so this baby actually just rests for a while, but we're on baby time. And remember, this baby's hardwired with his reflexes to actually know what to do. So just let this baby rest. And when this baby is ready, he will carry on the process. And that then goes to stage 6, which is crawling. They're crawling. No. Babies don't crawl. I mean, babies crawl 5, 6, 7, 8 months down the line. But actually, this new baby is able to move to feed, which is really, really important. Because if you look at any mammal, babies move to feed.
Okay.
You don't see the mom pick up this baby, puppy, cat, you name it, and stick it on its teat.
No.
The mom lies down, I'm there, I'm exposed. Now it's up to you, baby. And babies are hardwired to find their way to move, to feed. And so by not allowing our human babies to move to feed, we're actually messing up all their reflexes.
Now, for moms that are listening and thinking, how do you expect my baby to move? I mean, it's a baby, it's not even crawling. Let's go through that process.
Yeah, because it is quite mind-blowing. My
Yes.
baby, I suppose we've grown up with the thought, this baby is born, it's small, it's delicate, it can't do anything for itself. They're totally dependent on us. And that actually isn't the right description. Babies are not born as a blob or a sack of potatoes, but they are incredible human beings that are capable of incredible things given the opportunity in the right place. So the right place would be skin to skin on mom's chest. Then this baby is able to move. No, it's not going to go on its hands and knees as a baby 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months down the line, as we know, crawling. But that baby can move. Think about it. You have felt your baby move in utero.
Yeah,
they're able to break your ribs. They can kick so hard.
That's true.
They are not helpless babies that actually just lie still.
Yeah.
They have incredible muscle activity.
Already, yes.
And so they use their little legs and knees and they slip and slide and leapfrog, and push with their feet. And while they're doing that, they're actually pushing against the uterus deep inside mom's tummy, and they're causing stimulation of that by touching it, which causes the uterus to contract, and the uterus needs to stay contracted so that mom stops it bleeding, because where this placenta was is a raw open wound. So we need that uterus to contract down on that area, and baby helps the process along.
Wow. So does the smell of the milk in mom's breast also help baby travel up to the breast?
At some point they will smell it. I couldn't tell you whether that is what is going to be directing the baby if it's really low down on mom's abdomen. But there are other things. Remember, it's hardwired, so I'm only looking at the next step.
Okay.
Now, also think about a pregnant mom.
Right.
She's got this brown line down her tummy.
That's true, yes.
Okay, or some all the way down, some from her belly button down.
Yep.
It's called the linea nigra, black
That's
line.
right.
And that forms during pregnancy because of the pigmentation hormone melanin that is laying down in certain areas. And I don't know if you've ever wondered or said to Brent, why have I got this dark line?
Yes, what's happening to my body?
Yeah, what's it there for? Because there has to be a reason for everything. So my explanation for this is, this is the runway lights, kiddo. This is the way to go.
That is fascinating.
Okay, it's also laid down in the breast, around the areola, around the nipple area. That is also darkened to attract baby's attention. Catch its eye.
Fascinating.
Yes. So at some stage, the smell of the milk and from the little glands that are around on the nipple area, keeping that nipple area lubricated, the baby will smell that. Okay. Absolutely, that is part of the process.
Okay.
Yeah. So the stage 6 is baby crawling.
Yep.
Baby has to move to feed. It's moving to the breast area. And then we go to stage 7, which is familiarization. By this stage, baby is now at the breast area. Okay. And what do people do? They try and latch this baby, or right from birth, they pick this baby up and try and push this breast into this baby's mouth. Now, I liken it to you and me going to a restaurant. You order a plate of food. The waiter brings you your food. Would you like him to start shoveling the food into your mouth?
No.
But isn't that exactly what we do to our babies?
That is true.
Saying,
Forcing them.
Put
You
it
will
in.
feed.
And it's saying, what is that? I don't even know what a breast or a nipple is. Can I not look at it first? We like to look at our food, move it around the plate. Try a bit of this, try a bit of that. We don't just shovel it into our mouth.
Yeah.
So if we know what we like and what we don't want to happen, why do we insist on doing what we don't want to our babies? It's so crazy. But we've grown up with all sorts of weird and crazy ideas.
That's true.
And if we actually get back to nature and natural things, okay, it's going to make a whole lot more sense.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
so baby, during the familiarization, is now going to be at the nipple area. It's going to touch the nipple, touch the breast, massage the breast. Okay, that's great. I now know what a breast feels like, what a nipple feels like. I'm going to lick the area. Okay, not bad. Okay, it's familiarizing itself, and then it is going to actually latch. But that familiarization process can take quite a long period of time, maybe 20, 30 minutes. And if that mum had any medication for pain during the birthing process, it could take a bit longer as well.
Okay.
So don't be in a rush. We are on baby time. Babies are hardwired to breastfeed. They will get there on their own.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's always a rush. But yes,
And
slow down.
Absolutely. Just be on baby time and enjoy the amazing experience of seeing what this baby is capable of doing.
That's true.
Baby will then actually go into stage 8, which is the latching and suckling process. Okay. But the familiarization of the breast, of licking the nipple, of sort of latching, okay, is quite a timely process.
Yes.
And baby can also say, you know what, I need another little rest in the process too. And again, everybody, the baby doesn't want to breastfeed, and the mother's feeling rejected, and the staff are anxious because this baby's not feeding. And it may be already an hour that has passed since that baby was born, the golden hour, but baby hasn't actually latched onto the breast and fed yet.
Okay.
And so that's why I say the golden hour is a little bit of a misnomer. It's something special, but it's much more than just the first hour.
Yes. We must be mindful of that. Otherwise, it's very pressurizing to try and get all those 9 stages done within the 1 hour.
Yeah.
And if
it's
it doesn't,
just not going to work.
Yeah.
And so if we know that up front, thinking, well, actually, my baby may not even be latched on the breast in the first hour, that is okay because we are on baby time and we understand that it's all instinctive. Babies are hardwired. They will actually get there.
Absolutely.
And there are, okay, so baby, stage 8 is suckling, baby's going to latch on, and stage 9 is once baby's fed, baby will go to sleep. So that's looking at the 9 stages. But if we go back to the actual suckling, the latching of that baby will actually align itself to latch correctly. If again, mom is in the right position, baby's in the right position, it will latch correctly. So mom should be ideally in what is called the laid back position or biological nurturing position. So she is semi-reclined, nicely supported. Okay, so she's not sitting straight up.
Right.
She's definitely not lying flat. It's very important that she is in a semi-reclined position. Her breasts are easily accessible for this baby. Baby is lying skin to skin on mom's chest.
Okay. So after we go through those 9 phases, we are going to go a little bit more into those feeding cues in those first 72 hours. So let's go through those 9 first, and then we'll go back to that one, right?
Okay. So yes, so 8 is latching. A baby will suckle and feed for as long as baby actually wants to on the breast. And during that time, they will latch, let go, relatch, move its position, getting the correct position, the correct latch that will actually not hurt the mom,
Okay.
as opposed to having this baby in her arm, having her boob in the other arm, and trying to latch the two. And it doesn't always work satisfactorily that way. But that is what people see in the movies. That is what people see other people do because they haven't known better and they aren't aware what a newborn baby is actually capable of doing. And so we've got to change the whole mindset of this new mom that actually babies are hardwired to breastfeed.
Absolutely. And then we get to number
Stage 9,
9,
which is sleeping.
Yes.
And babies then fed, it's feeling safe, secure. All its needs are met by being on mom's chest. Don't disturb it. Babies,
That's why they say let sleeping babies lie.
Babies don't need to be weighed immediately. They don't need anything done to them. They need to be skin to skin on their mother's chest and left there undisturbed.
Oh, such a precious moment. Such a precious moment. Now, let's go into one question here. What surprises do you think parents are in that first hour? What do you think would surprise parents?
I think one of the things is their strong emotions, that actually it is such a precious, moving experience. They didn't expect to feel quite so emotional. Many people just burst into tears. It is just so overwhelming, both for the mom and the partner.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just the mom who is feeling overwhelmed and so awed and so amazed by this incredible baby that is just so beautiful because it's your baby.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been so many years since mine were there, but just talking about it makes you all emotional again. I mean,
Absolutely.
it takes you straight back there.
Yes. I think that people don't realize how emotional it actually is. And I think that parents, if they actually are laid back in the laid back nursing position, they are amazed at what their baby is capable of doing.
Oh, wonderful. So let's go into that nursing, right? Let's unpack what comes next. And I think the nursing is crucial, is a critical part of that, feeding is generally one of a big concern, like you said. So let's talk about what early feeding typically looks like, especially in those first 72 hours. I mean, that first hour, like you said, baby's starting to figure it out, sensing, reaching, without us force feeding, all right? But what about in those first 72 hours? What are some of the things for moms to look out for with regards to feeding and newborn behavior?
So ideally, we want to keep baby skin to skin on mom's chest. Okay?
As much as possible.
As much as possible. So baby can sleep, baby can wake up, and the breast is in their space. They can move to feed, they can latch on and suckle whenever they actually want to. And that is important too, because there are early feeding cues. And you, being a new mom, you might not pick up that actually your baby saying, hey, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
But babies are hardwired to feed. They know that they want to be fed. If the breast is there and exposed and accessible, baby can latch on and feed whenever they want to, which is the way that life should actually unfold. mom should be resting and sleeping in those first few days. Her body has to recover enormously from the process of giving birth. And she needs time to actually interact with her baby, form a bond, be there for her baby. And so the ideal is to have your baby skin to skin.
And do newborns feed very frequently during that time?
The majority of them can and will, others not as frequently. But if we look at a breastfed baby, they can easily feed every hour and a half to 2 hours, and that is normal. You've got to remember, how big is a baby's stomach?
Aha, yeah.
Okay, that when a baby is born, it's the size of a cherry. Okay, 5 mils, a teaspoon. That is its capacity.
Wow.
So it only needs a small amount. The colostrum, which is the first type of breast milk that is there for the baby, is very, for want of a better description, it's very rich and concentrate.
Okay.
So it needs a very small amount.
Right.
And the reason being, baby's stomach is just so small, it can only take a small amount. Breast milk is the ideal food for a baby. It's what the baby's designed to be able to digest, digests very quickly, and then baby needs to be fed some more.
Okay.
So they can feed, every few hours, 24 hours a day, which is almost feels like continuous feeding.
It's
I
never
remember
ending.
when, I was feeding my baby, is this what life is going to be like from now on?
Forever.
It's kind of, you sleep and you breastfeed, and you sleep and you breastfeed, but it actually doesn't continue at that level. It does settle down. So take heart.
And I think especially when you have an older one as well, you feel like you're sitting forever and feeding.
Yeah.
And you feel like you have somewhere else to be to. So it's very hard juggling, but be patient.
Yes. And that baby's little, stomach in 3 days, it's at the size of a walnut, by a week, it's the size of an apricot, and by a month, it's the size of a normal hen's egg. So it does grow and expand quite quickly, that they can take bigger volumes. But understand, babies need to feed frequently. It's normal. That is what is expected of a new baby. And if you know that, then it's not too devastating when baby feels as though they're almost continuously feeding.
And with that frequent feeding comes the frequent nappy changes, right?
Absolutely. What goes in has to come out.
To make space.
And we actually, it's very, very beneficial, because that first nappy,
Yes.
the first baby poo is called meconium, which is blackish, greenish, tarry, quite a sticky substance. You want to get that moving through.
Okay.
And the more that baby breastfeeds, the quicker that is going to actually pass out.
Ah, I see. Now, what should parents look out for that signals, signs should they look out for that signals hunger? I mean, in those first 72 hours or first week?
I was going to say at any time, with that a small baby. There are early feeding cues. Okay, so baby is, if we look at the average baby, they're going to sleep and they're going to feed, they're going to sleep and they're going to feed. So baby is now stirring from his sleep, okay? And that generally means I'm ready to feed, I'm waking up.
Right.
They will be licking their lips, smacking their lips, turning, they've got a rooting reflex. Okay, you touch and they're looking, or a seeking reflex, they're looking for that breast. Those are the early cues. Okay. And if you pick them up as early cues, baby is saying, I'm hungry, I want to feed. Right. And that is the ideal time to make sure, if your baby isn't skin to skin, for example, that actually you ready to breastfeed.
Okay. And now,
The-
what about partners, Lynn? I mean, they often
Mm.
feel helpless, right, during all of this. How can they support this feeding process?
I think that baby is stirring, or whenever you decide you're going to change the baby's nappy, if the baby is very hungry, then it's better to feed your baby a little bit and then change the nappy midway, wake them up again so that they feed nicely. And so you might get a slightly extended period without feeding because they've taken a good amount. So the partner, it's really great for them to have that time to interact. And nappy changing time, as much as many people, oh, that's what I don't want. Okay, it is such a brilliant time to actually engage, connect with your baby, that it's really special, that it's really a privilege to change a nappy and be interacting with your baby when your baby is awake. So a lovely time, because basically mum needs to breastfeed because that's the reality of being a mum, and the partners can actually then be involved in the nappy changing, bringing baby to mum, bringing mum something to drink. She gets very, very thirsty. She needs to keep her fluid levels up. A nice snack while she is breastfeeding can actually be positive
Yes,
in the process
absolutely.
as well. And then just your presence as a partner.
Yeah.
I can sit with you, I can have a conversation, I can say, wow, you're doing so well. Oh, you're really coping well as a mom. And look, your baby's feeding nicely. That encouragement, that acknowledgement, that positive reinforcement, that support and encouragement is really important. And that's
Absolutely.
the role that the partners can actually play. If there's another sibling, well, it becomes the ideal time for the partner and the older one to actually go and play and let
Yes.
mum actually get on with the breastfeeding, so that when the feeding's over and the newborn is actually now asleep, she's got time to interact with her older one.
Yeah. Now, I'm glad you brought that point in because, I mean, whilst all of this is happening, mum's recovery is happening as well at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, right? So let's look at what mum can expect with her body in those first few days. There's so much that's gone on. It's very intense physically, of course, and
Mm,
no matter what type of birth they've had, right?
it's
Uh,
intense.
it's intense, exactly. So let's talk about that, Lynn, in terms of what mum's body experiences during that time.
Mm. I think the biggest thing, and it's not a pretty picture, but it's the reality of what happens, is this pregnant uterus with this baby inside has displaced all mom's other abdominal organs
Mm-hmm.
out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
That baby, average baby, 3.5 kilograms, and the fluid, amniotic fluid, another kilo, a kilo and a half, never mind the placenta, all that comes away.
Mm.
And there's this huge big hole.
True.
And now we've got to shift these abdominal organs back into place. So initially, it kind of feels like everything is going to fall out vaginally, but it doesn't take very many days to actually feel a little bit more stable. But it's not a very comfortable experience, when you're up and walking around for a day or two. Um, Vaginal bleeding, whether you've had a Caesar or a normal birth, is what is going to
And that's
happen.
normal.
That is normal, it's part of the process. Where that placenta, the afterbirth, was attached to the uterus,
Right.
that is a raw open wound that
Okay.
needs the uterus to clamp down to close off those blood vessels to decrease the bleeding. Obviously, when mom has had a Caesar, her uterus has been cut,
Mm-hmm.
and it's harder for the uterus to actually clamp down and contract really nicely. So generally after a Caesar, a mum will bleed more heavily than
Uh-huh.
after a vaginal birth.
Okay.
Okay. So bleeding is normal. It is bright red, fresh blood, and it is heavier than a normal period.
Okay.
Thereafter, there shouldn't be clots involved.
And cramping?
There are, when mom is breastfeeding, the hormones of the suckling, the oxytocin, is going to cause a uterus to contract.
Right.
Okay, again, to slow down the breathing, keep that uterus contracted.
And that will feel like a cramping.
And that can think, oh, that's sore, But by the time, babies stop sucking and it's all settled down, it's manageable.
Yeah.
In subsequent pregnancies, because the muscle area is going to need to contract more, it can be more severe with subsequent pregnancies, but it's not, it might cause you to, hold your breath for a couple of seconds, that's all. You're not in excruciating pain.
Right.
Okay, we've got to get our expectations realistic. So yes, oh, that was, sore. Yeah. Okay, gee whiz, can stop contracting now, but it's doing something good, something positive that is really beneficial for the mom. So she is going to bleed heavily for the first few days. It should every day get the flow lighter, the color lighter, so it goes from red to pink to brown to white. And so you can have a heavy discharge for this 6-week period. You're not bleeding for 6 weeks, as so many people, the expectation is.
Yeah, I get you.
Yes.
And in terms of any swelling or discomfort or stitches?
Sure, if you have had an episiotomy where you've needed to be cut to enlarge that vaginal outlet, stitches can be sore. Sometimes can only be tender, sometimes can be very painful. For those first couple of weeks as things are healing and pulling tighter together. But if you get into a nice bath, or if you've got a shower handle that you can, when you've been to the loo, you can actually spray that area. Apart from cleansing, it actually is quite soothing as well.
Okay. And then, of course, there's this hormonal crash that we hear about, right? So what can moms expect there?
A range of emotions that are uncontrollable, that can vary from person to person. And so don't judge your reaction to the next person's reaction. But to actually be emotional in this time, for many reasons, is very, very normal. Number one, your body is trying to catch up with itself. It was pregnant, it's now not pregnant. So you're getting all these hormones, from pregnancy hormones to now breastfeeding hormones to not being pregnant hormones. That varies. And the sheer overwhelming experience you have just gone through, your body is tired and trying to catch up with itself. Lack of sleep, breastfeeding frequently, seeing to your baby's needs is very overwhelming in itself.
Yeah.
So by the third day, when the breasts are actually filling with, well, your breasts continue to fill with milk, but, it can be excessive, as that milk just tries to produce, okay, and find a balance of what is needed, when, how much, because it's on a on-demand basis. Your breasts can be full and tender, your stitches can be full or tender, so it's uncomfortable to sit. It's, if you've got had a Caesar, it's uncomfortable to try and get up.
Yes.
So yes, there's a lot to actually contend with just the physical recovery of moms body. But it happens, there's improvement every day. It's not like when you're sick and you're sick today and you're sick tomorrow and you're sick the
Yeah.
next day. Okay, you are recovering in leaps and bounds.
Yeah. And your body has this natural way of recovering, right?
Yeah, it really does. And if you understand that it's in that recovery zone and you don't expect to be how you were before you fell pregnant, okay, and be realistic that actually I don't need to go to the gym on day one. Actually, I definitely should not be going to the gym on day one. And I take this recovery slowly and progress on a daily basis, it's actually very healthy. And the kind of exercises you should be doing, not going to the gym, but you should be doing exercises from day one, is your pelvic floor exercises. Okay, those muscles that have been stretched with the birth of that baby so that you can gain better control of when you weeing.
Right.
And so if you imagine trying to stop yourself being, I really need to go, let me pull those muscles because I'm not quite at the loo yet, that kind of feeling. Those are the muscles that you need to actually practice contracting. So it's good to know about them before your baby, because once day one, think, I better pull up these muscles. I can feel absolutely nothing. That's fine. That is normal. Yeah. But I need to keep doing it to actually get the tone back in those muscles. And so that is the form of exercise that we need. And yes, we shouldn't be lying in bed 24 hours a day after after having had our baby, because equally so that has its own risks if we just go to bed and, curl up under the duvet. But when our baby sleeps, we should be sleeping, but then have an active period as well, walking around, getting used to gravity, getting those abdominal organs moving into the right place again, doing some nice deep breathing, okay, because in those last few weeks of pregnancy, that baby is a very big baby pushing on the lungs. Your lungs aren't able to inflate to the normal state they are because there's just not enough space. And so nice deep breathing is going to actually start aerating your lungs and getting your lungs a better capacity again as well.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful way of grounding us as well, right? After all that moms have been through during that time. But let's go back to the partners, because especially when it comes to that emotional health, the partners are crucial. Your partner, you're not alone, right? And what are practical things that partners can do that can ground moms and help them through this time?
I think that that support and encouragement is very, very important. I think practically looking after the toddler when mom is particularly breastfeeding and interacting with the baby, because it's a huge adjustment for that toddler to have a baby around. And so be kind on the toddler, okay? And I think that another aspect that the partner can be very important in doing is keeping all the visitors at bay. Don't allow the visitors in. It spirals everything and everyone out of control. It disturbs the baby. It disturbs the mom. That really, for the first week, don't have visitors. And I know that sounds harsh. Start telling your family and your friends you're not going to have visitors for a while till you are ready for visitors. Yeah. Sure, they can pop in and see the baby because that is an important need. But it's a pop in and actually pop out.
Yeah.
And then when they are ready to actually interact again, they do it at their pace and not at families that just pop in.
Yeah. It's crucial during that time.
It really is.
Yeah.
No, and if you've got to switch your phones off and disconnect, doorbells and gate videos and things like that, you've got to protect your family. Yeah. Because if you don't, you're going to end up trying to cope with the chaos of a crying mom and a screaming baby.
Boundaries.
Absolutely.
Boundaries. So if I had to say as we wrap up, I want to give parents a quick grounding checklist, right? Let's go back to the things that really matter in those first 72 hours. If you had to pick your top 3, what would that be?
Skin to skin, breastfeeding, sleep when your baby sleeps. Those pelvic floor exercises, deep breathing. Stay grounded as well. And just by rubbing your feet.
Yes.
Will ground you in reality and give your body some boundaries, which are important because your body has changed so drastically. And so you take your shoes off and you just rub your feet on the ground, and that does absolutely ground you.
Yeah, I love that. I try that every day, just every day for everybody. I think it makes such a difference. And I think during this time for moms particularly, it can make all the difference. And get dad to join you too.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody.
And Lynne, lastly, when do we know when things are not normal, and when should moms reach out?
Okay, so if we look at mom, okay, when are things not normal for her in her recovery process? If she develops a temperature, that is not normal and acceptable, and often a fever means an infection somewhere.
Okay.
If her discharge, or her bleeding vaginally, if that becomes heavier, or she starts passing clots, that is not acceptable. It should be lighter flow, lighter color every day. If it suddenly goes back to pouring bright red blood, there's a problem. Maybe a little bit of the placenta or membranes has got left behind in the uterus, can't contract down. It's telling you there's a problem that needs investigating. If your discharge becomes foul smelling, it signifies an infection in the vagina, the uterus, or something else like that. That is important. If you are not coping, so with the mental aspect of it, we look for mental health in mom and the family. If she feels she's not coping, if she feels she's not able to connect with this baby, if the partner sees that mom is not coping, not connecting, being a little bit detached, seek help and support. As far as the baby goes, we need to make sure baby is feeding nicely. How do we know baby's getting enough? Anything in comes out. We need to have wet nappies, poo nappies, lots of them. And then there shouldn't be a problem. Baby shouldn't have a temperature. If baby gets a temperature, that is a red flag. Go and seek help. There is an infection somewhere that shouldn't be.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you. That is so much of information, but so much important information to guide us through, I think, one of the most intimate but transformative windows of parenthood, right?
And if you have this good start by doing these things correctly, it makes such a difference to the rest of your journey of parenting.
Oh, thank you so much, Lynne. And if our mums would like to contact you directly for more information and advice, where can they find you?
They can find me at Baby Talk. My email address is Lynne, L-Y-N-N-E, at babytalk.co.za, or the cell number for WhatsApp or calls is 083 227 6712. We're always there to help.
Wow, that's very generous of you. Thank you very, very much, Lynne. We really appreciate that. And to every parent listening, whether you're preparing for birth or you're already in the thick of it, remember, the first 72 hours are intense because they're brand new, right? Your baby's adapting, your body is healing, and your emotions are finding their balance. And you're not doing it wrong. You're simply learning from each other. So, a final reminder as well, moms and dads, that remember this episode is for education and information purposes. It is not medical advice. If you have special concerns, please consult your healthcare provider for personalized care. Thank you so much for joining us on Lights, Camera, Baby. We'll see you in the next episode.